Good morning, 2A. So today for math, we are going to combine two things that we've already learned into something that is a little new. So a couple days ago, last week, we learned we reviewed some strategies on how to solve addition and subtraction problems with 2 or 3 digits in them. And so we also, while we were at school, worked a little bit on word problems. So today what we're going to do is we are going to start practicing solving 3-digit addition word problems. And these ones are only going to be addition. So if you need help remembering those 3 strategies, remember we talked about expanded form, open number lines, and base 10. You can go to the YouTube channel and find the video from last week about addition strategies, and you can rewatch that if you need to. But in this video, we're going to talk about and review how we look at word problems, and then I'm going to show you what your assignment is for today. So I am going to share my screen because I have an anchor chart. Normally we would be making these at school together, but unfortunately this is how we're going to have to do it. So remember, a word problem is an addition or subtraction story. So it's usually has lots of words. It tells about what somebody's doing. And remember, when we solve it, we read the problem all the way through first, from beginning to end, and sometimes even 2 or 3 times if we don't understand it the first time. So make sure you read the whole problem. Remember, we circle the important numbers. Now, it's important that we remember that they're important numbers, because I remember before break, we also talked a little bit about how some word problems have extra information. So if I said I have 12 apples, 12 bananas, and 12 oranges, and I said, how many bananas and oranges do I have in all? It's not important how many of the other fruit I have. It's just important about the bananas and the oranges. So I would only circle the numbers for bananas and oranges. So that's really important, that we're only circling the important numbers. We're also underlining important words, and we'll talk about what the important words are in a minute. And then step 4 is to draw a picture, but instead of drawing a picture, you might also, because these are bigger ones, this is just going to be to use a strategy. So you're going to use an open number line, you're going to use expanded form, you're going to use base 10 blocks. That's kind of what they mean by picture. And then you'll solve the problem by using that strategy. The important words part. So these are the words you're going to underline to help you really figure out the problem. Now, I gave you a big hint at the beginning of this, and I told you that they're all going to be addition problems. So there's not as much detective work that you need to do to figure out whether you're adding or subtracting. But eventually, you will get problems where sometimes it's adding and sometimes it's subtracting. So it's important to know which words tell us what to do. So we see the plus sign here. All the words inside the plus sign tell us to add. So if a problem has the words in all, like how many fruits in all, we're adding. Combined, all together, total, or more, we're going to add. Subtraction, we have here. We have left, fewer, less, takeaway, and minus. So when we see those words, we know we need to subtract. So keeping all this information in mind, remember, you can always rewind the video and pause it so you can see the chart if you're running into trouble. I'm going to show you what your work looks like for today. So you have this 3-digit addition word problems page. If you can print it, you can print it and do them right on here. If you don't, or if you cannot print, I made a Google form. You're going to have to do the work on another piece of paper and just submit your answers in the Google form, but I'll go over that in a moment. So read the word problems below and solve. This one says to show your work. You should definitely be showing your work either on here, or if you're doing the Google Forms one and you're submitting your answers online, on a separate piece of paper. So we have 124 students bought hot lunch at Lyons Elementary School, and 238 students packed a lunch from home. How many students ate lunch all together? Ooh, there are those words. So I'm going to model for you how we would solve this. So let me get my markers and things out. So I'm going to circle. Remember, I read it first. Now I'm going to circle my important numbers. And then I'm going to underline my important information of all together. So that tells me I need to add. So I need to add 124 plus 238. And that's what you're going to do down here using one of the strategies. Then if we scroll down, 844 Cardinals fans and 797 Eagles fans are going to the football game on Sunday. How many fans are going all together? So I read it. I'm going to circle my numbers. Oops. And I'm going to underline that all together. That tells me to add. And you'll notice in the Google Doc, I changed some of the wording. So on the Google Doc, I think this is Patriots and Jets fans. It's the same numbers. I just changed the words to make it a little bit more fun. The animal shelter has 128 dogs, 83 cats, and 44 birds. How many total animals are at the animal shelter? Ooh, this one's a little different. So I'm going to circle all three because it says how many total animals, which means all the animals. If it had just said cats and dogs, I would have just circled these two and I wouldn't have circled this one. And the number total helps me tell to add. The second grade class at Delta Elementary School raised $572 for their school fundraiser. The third grade class raised $729. How much money did the second and third grade class raise all together? So we have how much the second grade class raised. Oops, there we go. How much the third grade class raised. And then we have those words all together. So now you see how I go about marking up my word problem. There's 3 more down here that I want you to try to work on marking on your own. So that is what your job is today, and then obviously to solve them as well. So this is the paper copy if you're going to print. If you are not going to print, you can do it on here. So this is our word problem sheet. Remember your name, your teacher. The problems are here. Again, I changed it so this one says SJP instead of Lyons Elementary School, but the numbers are the same, still 124 and 238, and you're just going to type in your answer here. My big reminder though for my all friends, whether you're doing the Google form or the word problems form here, is make sure you label your answer. If I'm answering this first one of how many lunches students ate all together, I want to have the label lunches. I don't want to have to guess what we're talking about. So it's 100 and I'm going to guess, say 124 lunches. Because if you just write 124, is it 124 watermelons? Is it 124 baseballs? Is it 124 toilets? I have no idea. So when we do word problems, it's very important to make sure we label our answer so we know what we are talking about. For the money ones, you'll notice, let me reshare our other screen here because it's a little easier to see on here. But for our money ones like this one, your answer can be labeled with this dollar sign. So remember the dollar sign is an S with a line through it. So if my answer was $50, that could be how I label it. You could write 50 and then write the word dollars too, but if you just do the dollar sign, that's a label. So that is your assignment for today. If you have any questions or you run into any problems, send me a message on Class Dojo or an email and I will help you out from here. I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday, enjoys this beautiful sunny day we have going for us, and I will see you all tomorrow.